Okay, so I'm back again. Um, so I got well, my bike got some new hardware. Uh, One is this new wheel. It's this is a 19-inch front wheel, which is going to replace this 21-inch. And the reason is, if I can get it here, see all that rust? Yeah, that's not good. The last time I had a tire put on here, they suggested I get a new front wheel because in some spots on the inner side that rust has come through and kind of making this thing dangerous to ride on. So it's being replaced by this one here. Black rim with chrome spokes. Of course, I couldn't find one that has black spokes, but hey, you know, you get what you can pay for. And some of the other goodies this thing got was, so I put a glass fuel filter on here, and of course I lit it up with some LEDs. You can probably see this thing better at night, but that's what it looks like with the LED on it. And it did the same thing for the sight gauge for the tank. And of course, got a new oil pressure gauge, and of course it's illuminated too, which looks a lot better at night. And other things I got for this thing, it's a new crankcase breather, and I did the tubing myself. And another thing is this Mikuni clone, well, which it's a Chinese copy of a real Mikuni. Sorry about the traffic noise. And so it does run, but I'm having an issue with, I'll show you on the other side. That's a vacuumless fuel valve. And I had run into a problem with this. As you can see, that lever right there would extend and it would interfere with this bracket. So I had to grind part of this lever off so that I could change this thing to the reserve, because right now that's in the, you probably can't see it, but that's in the off position, and the reserve goes this way. So, and that's on, that fuel on. And with this type of valve, when the bike is not running, you should leave it in the off position. And the other issue that I ran into was the Bose switch. Now, the people who sold me this shiny new petcock there said that this hose here, which runs into a T and then goes to the carburetor, well, they said just take that T off and run the hose from the Bose switch to the vacuum fitting on the carb there. And you probably can't see it from here. Well, I'm not gonna even try. But anyway, I'm gonna try that, because when this thing was running and it went to the reserve, it shut off. Not really sure why it did that, but that's what it did. And the other problem that I ran into with this new carburetor was, this is the choke cable. Well, let me get a better view from this side. Yeah, so that's the choke cable that came with the carburetor. and you can see how long it is. It goes from here all the way back there. Now where my finger is, that is the original position for the choke cable, the pull knob. Of course, I machined my own custom pull knob, which has my initials LH on it. So I had to make a bracket, and this is that bracket that I made. Let me go over here. So I made this L-shaped bracket just so I could have a, place to use this knob and pull it in and out. Otherwise, it would just be flapping in the wind, just hanging. And also, this is another fuel pressure gauge, but that measures the pressure coming out of the oil cooler. And of course, it's lit up with its own LED also, which you probably can't see, in the daytime, but that's it. And I also had to find another position for the oil cooler switch. Now that's the oil cooler switch, and when it's on, and a little green LED will light up. There you go, you can see that. And for a switch housing, I'm using some spent casings from my 40 caliber semi-auto. So those came in good use. I've also used them on this side too. Hey, Cindy. One of my neighbors. And so I also put them on the voltmeter, which doubles as a RPM meter too. And it also has the shell casing fitting over the switch. Yeah, well, sitting still doing nothing, registers 12.3 volts. And so those are some of the things I've done to this so far. And hopefully this thing's gonna start and run in the reserve position, I hope. That's just another view of the Mikuni clone HSR 42, and it did idle pretty good, but I have to let this thing warm up and take it down the road to make some finer adjustments. And so I'll let you know what happened.